Hey, best
Hey,
friend.
hey, best friend. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good as usual. I'm not sore. I've been working out hard this week. And then we went skating yesterday. So I feel good, but definitely still sore.
Tired.
Not even tired, but my body is sore. But the skating helped it out in a way yesterday, in a way.
Yes, you got a lot of
Yeah.
compliments on your skates. I think people was
I
checking your skates
did.
out. Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, when I was walking in, this little girl was like, Daddy, I want those. I was like, oh, thank you.
Skates, yeah, they
Everybody,
cute.
they are cute.
Yeah, they're really cute. We had a good time. I'm feeling good this morning. Woke up like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Um, but other than that, I think it's been a great week. I've been definitely trying to have a change of attitude. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say my week was great. This weekend was great. We had a good time. I think we had a really good time. It was
I
needed.
think so. It was definitely a memorable weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, yeah.
Um, so what
So,
what 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 has been striking you this week that we could discuss? Open
ooh.
discussion.
So I would say the most pivotal thing that I've seen worth conversing about today is one of my favorite podcasts that I love to watch. I Am Athlete. So if you haven't
Mhm.
watched it before, I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, Brandon Marshall is like a weird type of fine to me. Like he
Mm.
has like a certain bone structure and he just fine. Um, and he has
Mm.
really good skin. So that I love Ocho Cinco anyway, because he's like a fool, but he's still very honest, and I appreciate that. And then the other two guys I'm not very familiar with outside of the show. But I've grown to like appreciate Fred, and I cannot think of the other guy's name right now, but Fred and Red, the light skin, and the other one for the people who've watched the show. Now they have like a very good dynamic to me, from which everybody's perspective. And then also, I love being able to see Black or African descent men converse in a way where it's not all the extra hoopla, and it's talking about real deal things that matter in our community. And so it's a beautiful thing. You get to see them interact with their wives and how they, are fathers, and just give you that viewpoint. So I love their show. If you haven't seen it, watch it. So there's a clip going around that is from one of their most recent episodes when they're talking about how they feel as though, even though they have support systems, when African descent men are going through things, they don't necessarily feel as though they can go to those support systems and talk about whatever they may be feeling without having to be viewed as, not being a man, you know what I mean? Or how to really go to their homeboy and like, cry it out or whatever, how they don't know how to
Mm.
properly express.
Mm.
And so I watched the clip and I just started to think about, just how we go into that. So he did the example that he has twins, one boy, one girl. And he said, they're outside riding bikes or whatever, and they both fall. We run to the daughter. Baby, are you okay? We got you. We love you. Kiss it, rub it. You're so strong. You're so this. We just automatically start pouring into them. And then you leave the son, the little boy, and you're like, all right, dude, get up. You good. Da, 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 da. And it's like, okay, that's okay sometimes. But sometimes you need to also pour into that your young boys that they're okay, they're strong, they're loved, they're all of these things as well. Of course you feel that way about your children, but we have to be conscious and remember to implement this into them as well, instead of teaching them, you know not instead of, but in addition to teaching them that you have to be strong, teach them it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. So I thought that was important.
I think, first of all, I need to start watching it. I like Ocho Cinco. I fuck with
Mm-hmm.
him. I'm glad that he has something like that. Especially me, I be feeling like, a certain woman was trying to tarnish his shit, whether,
Mm,
yeah, that whole situation.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy to see that he has something and people can look at him at a different light, just to start there. And then to second what you were saying about the whole aspect of kind of taking that time and allowing your son to be expressive, to be able to communicate and things of that nature. I could understand that as well. Right now, I'm kind of in a split place. I understand it. And yes, this is what needs to be done for men to be balanced, for them to be able to express themselves, because a lot of the times when you can't express yourself, that creates other issues like, mental illnesses and things of that nature. But me having a son, because we are Afro descent people, it makes it a little bit more difficult to provide that something that is needed, because unfortunately, and it's sad to say, we don't have that same privilege like our
Mm-hmm.
counterparts. So it's kind of like you have to prepare your male son to, you may go through things. You may go through at a point somebody, because of their skin, feel that they're superior of you and make you feel less. You may have to work harder. So at a younger age, I'm already going to prepare you for that so that you could have tough skin, so these things won't affect you this type of way. So it
Mm-hmm.
puts me in a position of being conflicted, if that makes sense. I think
Yeah.
it's a balance, it's a balance like we always talk about it. Everything is a balance. There is a balance. And I think with beginning to learn the journey of knowing yourself, it will allow you to be a better parent, because
Mm-hmm.
then you'll be more conscious of certain ways that you speak to your child and certain ways that you communicate. I know that that's what that's done for me. Like in the beginning, I used to, I was myself. I was young me. So my ass was like, sit your ass, sit the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is you doing? Like, that was my
Yeah.
initial response. And as learning, I've learned to kind of like, you know, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Where in that did that make sense to you for you to do that? If I just
Mm-hmm.
asked you to do this. So that is my way of allowing my son to be expressive. But all the other shit, yeah, I'm still sticking with that because I haven't found a way to still have him create that ego in a sense, because he has to create an ego at some point. Now he shouldn't be too egotistic. Again, it's a balance, but he needs to have that exterior as his skin color. It's just the reality of it.
So, right. Okay. So I feel like, yes, let's take it outside of the race thing for a moment. If we're strictly just in our own space for a moment and we are looking at, let's say, the example that he gave, where you have two children, siblings, same age, same situation, same time. At that particular moment, as a parent, are you honestly thinking about how I respond to this right now is how my son is going to have to, what he's going to have to worry about in the world? Or can you literally just take a moment to allow to be in that moment with your child? I feel as though, and let's not, outside of just parenting, with each other, sometimes, all the time, in my opinion, it's important that we try to stay conscious of experiencing things in our lives in the moment so that we can get the full understanding of that moment, because it's going to be gone in a second. You understand what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, if I have two children, girl, boy, they fall. Okay, the girl, get up. We're going to check on you, on whichever child is not hurt, is bad or whatever. In my opinion, I would, if they're both okay, yeah, we're going to check on the little girl. Okay, you're good, get up, da, 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 da. But the little boy is like, okay, yeah, your tone can be a little bit different. You may not have to be as soft, but still offer him reassurance. Still let him know, like, you're good. You know, mommy got you, daddy got you. I got. It's still a time where you can add something. They may not sound the same way. That's okay. But the fact is that you do it. We have some people that don't do it. We have some people that, you know, pay attention to the female only, and the little boy has to kind of like fend for himself. And it's like, that's, you know, what are you teaching your child at that
That
moment?
is called irresponsible parenting.
In
That's
your
what the fuck.
opinion, in your
In my
opinion. But
opinion,
some people
that's
think like, okay, you good. Get up, dust yourself off. But they don't do the simple thing as put their hand on the child's shoulder. It's the little things that you show for comfort. You understand? Some people don't have that. They like, get yourself up. You good. Do it again. And I'm that TT. I'm like, if we out skating, like when we went skating, get up. You good. You not hurt. Get up. But that's me. I'm gonna do that to both the girl and the boy.
in the boy.
Like, I don't play
Exactly.
that.
I don't exactly because it's a certain some you got to teach the girls too. I'm not over here like,
Yeah,
oh my God, are you okay? Like, no, she all
because that's
right.
not reality for you as
Just
a young girl or woman or for anybody, period. That's not
yes.
life.
Yes. So of course. But in the aspect of, you know, let's say when I heard that when you said that, I was thinking about a circumstance that was a little bit more in that essence, like what you were saying in the beginning. For example,
Mm-hmm.
none of them are really hurt, et cetera, et cetera. They are right. I'm going to do that for girl or boy, but I can understand the aspect of you saying to your son, okay, you are right. Get up. You okay? Dust yourself off. You going to the girl, you saying the same thing. And she's a girl. It's too rough for her. She may be like, but I'm a little scared, you know, and that extra
Yeah.
comfort may come in there. Opposed to my son where I'm like, boy, you better get out here. Come on, let's go. You know, you make the affirmative action will probably be a little different between my girl and my boy, because the girl again is a feminine energy and the boy is a masculine energy. But I'm thinking in that aspect, as far as what you were saying, it's no people at all. Again, that's what I said. With thinking with coming with learning yourself, you will begin to become more conscious of the way that you speak to your child. Granted, like you said, in majority of the population, and I don't even want to say majority because that's sad, but you're right. Some people don't talk to their children like that. Some people don't provide them with that extra emotional construct that needs to be provided. So I
Mm-hmm.
can
Mm-hmm.
understand. I can understand what you're saying when you say that. I think that varies for the type of parent. But yeah.
Let me ask you this. So on the bigger scale, let's just outside of like little children, right? You
Mhm,
have where you're at that stage of parenting or just whatever, where your child is like a young adult, and
mhm,
the lessons that you're instilling them are a little bit more realistic to what they may be dealing with in what we call the quote unquote real world,
mhm,
independent living.
mhm,
And you have, you know, that girl and boy dynamic, same age. When I was thinking about this, when I saw this clip, what I took from it, and I reposted this on my social media as well, I said, you know, it's important for us, especially, I'm going to say us, our people,
mhm,
whether it's a single mother, single father, two-parent household, I don't care what it is. I think that our people can do a better job in teaching our young men self-worth. I think that
mm,
our people can do a better job in teaching our young men how to feel, teaching them that it is okay to feel, because naturally they do. But what I see is when they're young, we tell them, get your ass up. You good. You a boy. Because I'm a boy, I can't, if I fall, I cannot cry. If something happens to me in life, I cannot cry. I gotta go through what I gotta go through because I'm a man, and is that and that's just what it is. I can't feel. So then when those young boys turn into young men and then they have issues in relationships and they don't know how to communicate with their partner to become better partners, to become better fathers, and whatever, better people effectively communicating in their business, we look to them and we say, well, you don't like to communicate. Tell me how you feel. What do you feel? How are you feeling? You don't have nothing to say. And it's like, we can't be upset with that, because
You're
that is what we have created in a sense.
you're right.
Because it's like, this is what I know. I know that when something happens to me, be quiet, deal with it, get back up, and try to do it again, or just get past this moment, because that's what I've been taught to do. I don't know anything else. And so for me, I feel like with the knowledge that our generation has and the things that we expand our learning and stuff with, I just hope to see a real change with that, because the what we have preview to, that's like in our age bracket and stuff, I don't see, and it's not to say I don't see it at all, because I do see it sometimes, but I feel as though our men have a hard time expressing what they feel, and it holds them back from the quote unquote potential that we see in them. You know what I mean? Because they don't know how to deal with those things, and that aids to depression and just a lot of other different things. And so when I saw this clip, I'm just like, wow, it's very true. And I hope that, again, that we just do different, because we create balance with women, in my opinion. We teach our young women, it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be this, but guess what? When you leave out of this house, you need to be strong. You need to be educated. You need to be understanding. You need to be, multidimensional. You need to know how to wear all of these hats and balance it. There's a time and a place. Me as a woman, I know that there is a certain space where I can be vulnerable. And I know that there's a certain space where I can feel how I feel, but maybe I need to act, move a different way because of where I am or what the situation is. We put all of these hats on women, and I don't understand why society within our culture, I believe, from my perspective, we don't really implement that into men. These are young boys that's going to be head of household, and so I don't understand that.
I think for it, to be honest with you, in that way, I can't relate to those aspects that you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about. Because my household was very different. I had a more so expressive dad than I did a mother. My mother had a certain way of thinking, and my dad was very expressive. So I don't know. I know a male being expressive, but I could definitely understand what you're saying in the way that you're saying it, as we are conditioning them in certain ways. But again, I think it goes with a knowing, a certain paying attention, because I could say for my dad, he became that due to his experiences and what he was going through, and saying, wow, these things affected me this way. I wasn't able to do this. So I'm going to make sure that I talk to my children, girl or
Mm-hmm.
boy, and ask them how they feel and get into their mind and let them express themselves without judging them and letting them be emotional and things of that nature. That was always my household. But for the ones that do lack that, I could definitely understand what you're saying. And with the information that we do have that is available to us, with that, people need to grow. You have this information out here. You need to take this in. It's a choice. Do you
Absolutely.
choose? It's a choice at the end of the day. And to go to the other statement that you made when you said, you hope that it's going to be a change with our future generations. It will, because a lot more people are becoming a lot more conscious. That's within the alignment of the planets. And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it's too far from. I think that more people are becoming more conscious. More people are becoming aware of mental health. And with that, and you seeking therapy and you working on that and trying to, fix these issues that you have, more people are being more conscious of that. They're being more
And there,
conscious of it.
I agree with that. And I'm not saying that I don't know men that know how to be expressive. I do. I'm just speaking from like what I could see outside when
Side.
I
Yes.
have conversations, or even if I don't have conversations with people, just things that I see or how I see young guys react to things. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what does that come from? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that comes from a lack of something from your environment. So yeah, that was a little clip, and something that I was intrigued to talk about. What about you?
Um, Girl, I just been in a learning phase. I just been studying, just walking myself into what I would like to see. The biggest
Mhm.
lesson that I would have said that I learned as an open discussion aspect would be just making decisions. Like that's been a thing for me when I was making sense of it. I was listening to Bob Proctor, and he was just pretty much talking about and saying a lot of the times we think we making decisions when in all actuality you're not making decisions. You're not making a decision when you're doing something contingent to another thing. Oh, I will do this once you understand? And a lot of the times, if you make that decision, no matter what the obstacle or anything is, you'll be able to achieve your goals. And it literally just boils down to decision making and just having a better attitude. So I think that was my open discussion. That's just something that I had this week.
Yeah, that's the real thing. Just walking in the light in which you're trying to be, or being the change that you want to see. If that's what I want
Mm-hmm.
to see for myself, then I have to start moving forward. Like it's not gonna come to me. So yeah, that's the
Yeah,
real thing. Yes, ma'am. All right, is that time, boo?
it's that time. It's time to roll the dice.
All right, and we have six.
And what's six? I love
Oh,
six. Six is such a good vibrational number. What's six?
we've been getting six a lot, and six is going to be nature versus nurture.
Mm. So what do you think when you hear that? Nature versus
So,
nurture. It's like for me, I hear you need both. One doesn't coexist without the other. But go ahead.
right. So, okay. So, for nature refers to the genetics and all the factors that are inherited. And then nurture refers to the variables of the environment, things you get from the world around you after you are born.
Ooh.
So, so like you said, they're very similar. But nature is something that is genetically in you and your being. It's something you can't control. And then so nature is something that's in your being, like genetically something you can't control. And then nurture is kind of like that environmental aspects that you are exposed to that then creates a reaction. It's
That
kind of how
that
I'm taking it.
that makes sense. Nature. It's interesting that you say that the definition of nature, because I'm just gonna be honest, I've never been one to look up the actual definition of nature. You just know nature is nature, nature outside. Like this
Right.
is nature. Look at nature. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting that that's the definition. But it's what intrigues me about what you said, and it's not going back to like more so what you were saying, but I feel like it's just insane how when you start to read and educate yourself, you say that that's the definition of nature and it's your genetics. And we go outside and we say, oh, this is nature. But we treat nature like this. We pollute, we do all of these things, and this is nature and this is us. It just goes to
Hmm.
show you how connected we are with nature. Like this is us.
Absolutely.
This is what makes us, especially if it's a substance of saying in your genetics. You're made up of
Yes.
genetics, DNA,
It's the collective world, including the plants, animal, landscape, and other featured
everything,
products on the earth, opposed to,
everything.
yes, it's everything. It's literally everything. So, oof, nature versus nurture. Nurture. Tongue tied. That actually goes back to the topic. And actually that's why we put it on one of them, because it that kind of like intrigued my brain when I was thinking about the whole process. And I was just like, what is the difference between nurturing someone and what's naturally in the nature of someone's reality? That's what I was thinking. And so when we speak about
Give
the
me an
quote
example
unquote,
with that so I can follow you.
yeah, so when we think about the quote unquote reality of and this is a US experience of what it's like when our young boys and our young girls go into society, right? And that's, to me, I'm like, okay, so that's nature. But then when you look at the definition of it, it's not, it's actually nurture, right? The nature of it is those characteristics that a child has from the beginning based on their DNA. And then we nurture those characteristics based on their reality. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the nurture is the outside essence of whatever is going on in the world,
Right.
based on situationship. And so, but like you said, unless you're looking up the actual, which is why I read the definition, because for me, before I looked at the definition, I'm like, okay, so we're really like we always hear you have to be careful how you nurture your child or how you nurture people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we really do, because it's adding to the nature of that child, how we nurture them. I know it's a little conflicting, the words are so close together,
but
but
we hitting back on that what? Epigenetics.
Yes, we are.
We hitting back on the epigenetics. And y'all see how the conversation builds. We touching back on the epigenetics when you, after your re-explanation of it, it's like there's not one without the other. That's just, they go hand in hand. So to put it in an aspect of versus one another, we understand the definition clearly now. And I think that's definitely something to just take back, like, whoa, that's powerful in what you said. But we're touching back on the epigenetics and yeah.
For you guys who haven't understood what epigenetics is, very simply, it's the study of the gene expression. And so that will fall under the nature aspect for DNA.
Exactly. Which touches base back on what I was just saying earlier about how we are nature. When you first hear it, it's like, oh, this is nature. No, this is you.
This is you. Yes.
This is you. I think if we looked at it like this is you, would you treat it better? Like I told the other day, I was smoking and I was smoking and I was happy. I was excited because I was like, oh, my mind, I'm working on my mind. I'm gaining control of my mind. And for some people, with me saying that aspect, you probably like, oh, what the fuck? You don't have control over your mind. A lot of y'all motherfuckers don't have control over your mind.
Amen to that.
You don't, we've been living so much in a conscious self that you haven't even tapped into the subconscious. So I just want to put that out there. I was smoking and I was like, oh, okay. I put the roach out and I was going to throw it into the earth. I took my shit back and I was like, let me put this to the side, because I'm starting to think of the earth as myself. I need the earth, and we are in sequence with nature, because we need the oxygen, the things that the trees, and it's like you said, whether that goes from the lives, whether that goes from the livestock, or it goes to the soil, or it goes to the plants, it is all in unison. So yeah, I've been working on that, and I was like, ooh, I don't want to pollute on her. That's what I just be like, oh, I don't want to pollute on her. And, in my morning gratitude, I start to say that. I'm starting to say that. Thank you, Earth, for allowing me to live on you.
No, that's the real thing. And I'm with you on the her aspect of it. Because it just takes a woman to just take care of all of this.
Period. No, that's some real shit. That is some real ass shit, what you said. Like, for me, where I'm going with my study, I believe consciousness itself, because that's what it comes down to. Consciousness, source, God, Allah, whatever you want to call it, whatever that means to you. The higher being is a woman. It is a feminine energy. God is a woman. What Ariana Grande was saying,
Amen.
it's true. God is a woman. Give birth to. Think about it. Who gives birth? If we are the earth, right? And the earth can produce and allow us to eat on it and live on it and do all of these things. This is a production. This is giving birth to things, giving life. We need the earth in order to give life. That's a woman. That's a woman. It's a woman. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a woman when you think about it. And you go into the process, and it's like, you know, we just, I think at some point in history, they changed it to more of a masculine type of world. But at the end of the day, source is a woman. You just gotta really think about it, break down the steps.
Right, I agree with that. And touche, I love Ari as well. I love that song. I love her.
Your ass is a barb. Of course, you're gonna love her.
What? No, outside of that, I love her. She can sing. Ariana does no wrong.
She can't
on the vocal tip of anything.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
Yes, so I appreciate her music. But yes, so I think that you made a very good point in tying it into the cycle of life. Both of them, of course, are in it, like the nature versus the nurture. So even if we were speaking about it from like a plant point of view, right? So you have the nature, the genetic makeup of whatever that is, whether that's a sunflower, dandelion, rose. That's the nature, the genetic makeup of that individual flower. And then you have the nurture, the environment that would grow in, and how it would create a difference between the look, feel, smell of one versus the other. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot. I like that example you gave. That was really good. Yes. The color. I mean, that comes with the evolvement of your, basically what you're saying, the evolvement of your nurture. It comes with the evolvement of your nurture. I like that. Because when you think about squirrels, you got flying squirrels in certain areas, and that is due to the nurture, not the nature.
Correct. Exactly.
That's a good one.
Yes. And so it's like we're one and the same, but we're all so completely different. Because of the nurture. We're already different to the nature because of our, genetic makeup, but because of the nurture being given to every single person in a different way, in a different environment, that nurture then it builds on the differences that we already have, right? So I saw this thing, because y'all know I like to look stuff up. So it was like, if nature versus nurture was to have a debate at the Oscars, they would both say, nature would say, I would like to thank the Academy and my lovely genes that are responsible for my dashing profile, irresistible voice, and on-screen charisma.
And then nature?
That's nature.
Okay.
And then you have nurture, who says, and I would like to thank my parents for taking me to the cinema, as well as my drama teacher, Miss Roscoe, for the Academy at the Academy of Fine Arts. So it's like, based on nurture, I want to thank you because I look good, I sound good, I am all that you want to see. But let's also thank my parents and my teacher for then putting something to that. So I wasn't just a face, so that I had more to me. You know what I mean?
Ooh, so I have a question. I don't want to cut you out by why this is on me. Y'all know I don't smoke. So while this is on me, do you feel one is more important than the other?
No.
Or do you feel one comes first before the other?
I mean, in the aspect of, nature come. I mean, I think that they're both equally important.
Nurture comes first.
Equally important. Nature.
They are equally important. But if I had an order, now that you're saying that, what you're saying, nurture nurture will come first. If it was a way to do it, nurture will come first, because it goes back to what you said when you said that the nurture is what creates the nature. What is going on? What is going on in the outside? What you got going on in the outside? So if I am treated a certain type of way, if I'm, you know, provided with a certain something, if I'm balanced and I'm raised in a balanced household and things of that, then my offspring and the genetic makeup would feel better. It's like, let's say, go into an opposite, and you saying somebody, you know, who has been encaged, you know, a majority of their life, they're going to go through a certain trauma of their DNA and things of that. And it's going to, we know that that alters it. And then it has a probability of your offspring being what? Aggressive. So I would say nature will come into play, because it makes up, nurture will come first and then nature, because in a reproduction wise, nurturing is going to be essential.
I understand that. So in a reproductive realm, you're saying that how I feel, what I put into me, everything that I nurture that is in my being will then through nature be passed down to my seed.
It's epigenetics.
It's epigenetics. Exactly what it is.
It's epigenetics. Yes. That's exactly what it is. It's epigenetics. So yes, nurturing would be essential. It's like what they say about cow, kosher meat. It's treated a certain way, so it tastes better.
Yes. But to answer your question, I think that they're equally valuable, right? And it would be, I understand why you would pick nurture, but the nature of my genetic makeup outside of my emotional standpoint, which is hard for me to say knowing what I know. So I can't even say that. For me, it's equal, because if I was to combat one or the other, I could easily at the same time be blocking myself, because I know how the other will combat that. So for me to answer your question, they are equally just as important, and they are both the most important. Like, I cannot stress that enough, because I know that that genetic makeup is DNA is real deal. It travels and continues to travel, as we all know. And you will see one person and be like, "Oh my God, this is just like your dad, or just like your mother." Da, 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 da. It is a real thing. Like, it doesn't even. You may not even be exposed to the other person that has your genetic makeup, and you guys still have some of the same things.
Similarly, I mean, that's the nose, that's the eyes, that's the ears,
it's the conversation, it's the body language,
it's the behavior, it's the karmic lessons. Sometimes the children live the father of the the sins of the father.
Amen.
The children, and that goes back to what we always say. It's important to know who the hell you gonna reproduce with.
So while all y'all out there
bumping
in
and
the
grinding,
middle of nature, trying to nurture, you need to be real careful.
Real fucking careful. Real fucking careful. Because that shit is a real thing. It is a real fucking thing, to the point where it cycles. Again, it's epigenetics. Yes. It's epigenetics. Yes. That's all it is. It's epigenetics. It was.
Even just when I was thinking about the nature and nurture, like, I thought about it, like, I like to just jot it down when I'm thinking about something. I'm like, oh, we need to talk about that or whatever. And as we were talking about it, we both like epigenetics. So that's crazy, because it's a lot of things that, like, you know, we definitely want to introduce into the conversation. We're like building so that we could like go there with y'all and ourselves as well, to be able to expand those conversations. So I do like the way we were able to tie that in, because that is exactly what it is, and knowing the difference. So thinking of this, and then thinking about the video that I've seen with Chad from I Am Athlete, etc. And we're talking about those experiences, right? So the children are already genetically, you know, who they are, because that's already done their thing. And so now it goes into the nurturing of a child, right? The nurturing of a child, and then their environments, and then how that then in the cycle goes to their offsprings, right? This is why I say it's important that, and you made a great point, our people, our generation, this time, we have been experiencing a level of consciousness that we have been long ago taken from, because it's not that we never had it, it's that we lost sight of it. So I feel as though, you're correct. We're reaching those altitudes again. And with that, I feel like you said, our children, they're going to be so much aware, and
so much
it's going to be
conscious.
it's just a beautiful thing, the heights that some of our people don't know we have the ability to reach, and we will, and beyond possibly anything that our people even did back then when they were tapped into it, because of the technology that we have to be tapped into things, to gain the knowledge of things. And so yeah,
I think that was I like that. I didn't expect the conversation to go that way when we say eugenics. I mean, it epigenetics, eugenics, it's all, and you get to, and then you get to see with the oppressor, you're having pivotal epiphanies, because you getting to see, oh, these motherfuckers done twisted this shit all the way the fuck up.
I'm trying
these
to tell
motherfuckers thought 100 steps ahead of the motherfucking game. Oh, so we gonna free y'all? Okay. Well, this is what we're gonna do instead. Y'all motherfuckers is not. It's gonna be difficult for y'all.
But that's what negative energy does, right? You feel as though you've gotten so far ahead of the game on a situation, but you got to realize, like, the power of positive energy in the higher being.
But listen, they took that
happening.
But
once we jump back,
in Africa, we was aware of that. They took us so far away from that. They took us so far away from that because, listen, we taught them.
Correct.
Let's be clear. Anything that they know is due to us.
Correct.
That's just it. And
my memory is losing me right now, and I really hate that. But we watched a documentary,
Out of the Darkness.
After the Darkness. It's on YouTube.
Out of the Darkness on Amazon Prime. Out of the Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
It's a must watch.
Did I say YouTube Prime?
Yes. You said Into the Darkness.
Because you know what? I'm thinking about so much at one time, y'all. But what is the name of, like, our people that taught them all of this? Like, to taught us?
The Moors. The Moors.
The Moors. Thank you. So they go over that education with the Moors and how they traveled the world in these different places and provided people with all of this knowledge and things, and how the
Moors didn't even, not to even cut you off, but I get hyped. I be getting hyped.
Go ahead.
When the Moors didn't even have GPSs, they were so in sync with the motherfucking stars. They was traveling on ships just by watching the damn stars. Navigating. Ain't no GPS. We don't need no GPS. I can look into the sky and know which direction I'm supposed to be going.
Yeah, geometry and all of these things came from our people. Then us being the people that we are still today, whenever other ethnicities and cultures want to come in and learn, we like, yeah, let me teach you how to do this, let me teach you how to do that. We don't keep things to ourselves for whatever reason. May not just be part of our purpose, but so we did that then, and we started teaching all of these different people, and then these people were learning from us and then watching us as they do now, right? What happened? Yes. And so what happened with them watching us, they would see from the documentary standpoint, they would see us, quote unquote, fight for position of power, but not understand why we were doing that. Right. So we had people like whoever was the most knowledgeable. If you they were the head. If you felt as though you had gotten to a place of higher understanding, then you would kind of go against that person, kind of like fight for your position, how they do in the
Mm-hmm.
animal kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like whoever is the strongest, the most knowledgeable, that's who leads the pack. And it wasn't any, like, I don't like you and I don't want the best for you. It was just the reasoning was for the people so that we could be higher entities. But then we had
Mm-hmm.
the other people looking at us and they thought it was for power. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand the true power was to teach the
Because
people.
they wasn't living, but you got to think about it. They wasn't living in balance. All of Europe was about conquer. It was
Right.
always about conquer. You know what I'm saying? Like, we conquering here. This is what we doing. They was living in the cold and the wilderness, ain't had no clothes. So, like Dr. Africa says, that's also something you can look into on YouTube. Just look up Dr. Africa. He gives lectures. And as he explains it, they're nurturing
Correct.
cause their nature to be a certain way and develop them with certain deficiencies that, is different than us. Us know who we talking about.
Correct.
Yes. So
So
again, it just was it's go ahead, that's right, because that
yes. So to conclude what I was saying, so within that, them looking in, they started to, distract us, separate us, harm us, put all of these things into us that got us further from our truth that we had embedded into them, created all of this confusion, distraction, negative energy. And then they tried to take the role in how we used to do things, not understanding why. They just wanted the power. They never necessarily wanted to take that and then put it into the people. They took it and put it into their people and then made us dependent on them in that way. And so I think that, it's so important to know your history so that you don't create those same mistakes, because exactly what they did put us in a cycle of exactly what we are experiencing now. You understand? It goes back to what I always say. It looks different. It is the same exact thing. And I think that, again, it may just not be part of our mission to keep things to ourselves, because even now you see our people, like, we want to teach everybody that wants to know how we do this, what, whether that's fashion, culture, like whatever, we teach everything. We don't keep things to ourselves here in America. At least that's the experience here. We just give, and then once we give them everything to use the tools, we then take our monies and our goods and our bodies, and then we pay them for recreating what we've already done. And that's in what we've taught them, and that's in every aspect.
Every aspect that you think about, it's in every aspect. I mean, in their ways, too, as far as with the hair industry, I mean, we wanted to look like them. That's one thing that did happen that we decided that we wanted to do. So we started straightening our hair because we wanted to look like them. I mean, that's the
because
essential.
we didn't find value. We didn't find
value in our certain courses of hair. So
right.
I mean, if you think about it, just on a deeper level, that's why the weave industry is so significant.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean,
well, I'm part of the Lock family now. I can't say that I will never use it, because I will, and that's just real tea. But yes, I agree with you on that. We just, we didn't find value for a lot of reasons. And I'm not saying it's wrong. It's what we were conditioned to do. So, or not.
Shout out to all my natural sisters.
Period. It ain't easy, girls.
It's
ladies,
not.
men, all
it's
y'all.
not. It's an effort, but it's okay because it's ours and it's free.
Amen. And it does save time, because I've just been going about my business. But what I will say, I have experienced since I've been wearing my hair naturally, everybody touches my hair.
No, nobody touches my hair.
it's everybody touches my hair. And I just be sitting there feeling like a little pet rabbit or something. Like, I don't want to be rude, but why are you touching my hair? Everybody's like, oh, I like your hair. And they
No,
scream
you
and
better
say,
stop them from doing that. They putting their energy
like,
in that shit. Don't touch. Change the energy around your hair. People don't need to be touching your hair. No, change the energy.
like Daddy did that
Homeboy said
yesterday.
that
He was
yesterday
rubbing
to
my
me.
hair. Hmm.
I said, homeboy said that to me yesterday. Oh, I just want to touch it, but I know I shouldn't. I said, yeah, no, don't do that.
Listen, Daddy did that to me for like 5 minutes. He was petting my hair. I was standing up talking to somebody. He was just rubbing it. I was like, oh, okay. But he's not the first person. People do it often. So I was gonna ask you if that's like a thing, because I know like a loose natural, when you do different styles, people are like, oh, your hair is so pretty when you do braids or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay, sometimes people know, like, I mean, I'll touch your hair, but since I've been natural, that's been happening a lot more often.
Your hair is actually very nice. I think it looks really, really good. Ma said she had liked your hair. I think your hair looks really good.
Thank you.
But you need to change the energy around your hair.
Yes, okay. I will put some energy into that.
Yeah, like I don't want, my hair is unfuckable. Don't touch it. Don't.
Let me tell you something.
Don't do
My
none of that.
niece do not play that. Malia, she doesn't play that. I was touching her hair yesterday. She's like, TT, stop. And I was like, stop what? Touching my hair. It's my hair. I said, I know, but it's so pretty. She said, thank you. Don't touch my hair. And I said, okay, niece, I respect your space.
Exactly. Make some energy around it. She got that early. Don't touch my fucking hair. What the fuck? Don't touch my hair. Look at it. Just look at it. People be saying that your hair's so fine. Don't touch my hair. You can look at it. It looks, just look at it. I don't have that.
Yeah. So she told me off top, ma'am, stop. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Whatever you want, niece.
Your hair is probably, what's happening is your hair probably like, your hair is living. That's just what I feel. So your hair probably like, oh my God, we're outside. We get to see outside. What is this? It's eluding people to come touch it. Come touch me, please.
Oh, wait. It probably is, because everybody's like, I'm so used to you having your hair up or something done to it, and you just wearing your hair out. You just wearing your hair. I'm like, yeah. So you just wearing it out. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Then your hair's probably like, oh my gosh, is this what the outside air is like?
I'm too weak. I know y'all. I know some of y'all is the same way. Y'all just always have something done up to your hair, because I don't know. In the past, I haven't been able to manage my hair, like style my hair, and it makes sense. Like, I will spend all day trying to mow my hair for my ponytail to be lit. I'm outside in humidity for 6 minutes, and it looked like I've had the same ponytail in for 12 days. Like, it's a mess. Like, so let me not say it's a mess. I've been working on like how I speak about my hair. So yeah, but it's a journey, but I like it. It's freeing. Like, I just be going about my day.
I think it's good for you. I think it's something, my hair for me, and this is for all the like people, my hair for me is just, I get to see the journey through my hair. And so because I'm heavily on a journey of just search of self and consciousness, I get to look at different phases in my life. And it's kind of like my own recording, if that makes sense. So, that's what that does for me.
It does. Well, I know we, kind of just smoothed out to something else, but we appreciate you guys for listening in to Hey Best Friend. We're so excited for you guys to see some of the things that we'll be doing for season 2, because it will be coming up shortly. So be prepared to see us in the flesh. And we have some interesting surprises for you guys, and so we're excited.
So really quickly, let's give our take backs quickly.
Yes. You can go first.
I think first, take back, do some homework, look up these things that we've said, we talked about, and that goes for us too. just rewatching or rereading some things about epigenetics and eugenics. These are things that you should be looking into because it is a real thing, as we just discussed. And then two, for me, again, treating the earth, treating her in the way that she would like to be treated, how you would treat yourself for those who love themselves. If you love yourself, love the earth. And if you don't, try starting to love yourself so that you could be a better component of the earth.
I love that. I love that. I would definitely agree. Just, if you can, whenever, jot it down. So it's something that whenever you have some free time and you want to gain some learning and understanding, you can look into these things. Follow up with us and let us know if you guys have questions, if you have, something you want to talk about. We would love to interact with you guys and, go through these things so that we can get understanding and help provide you guys with that. I would say for me, my take back is being continuously being conscious of what I put out to people so that I am being the change that I want to see. So that I am,
Beautiful.
yes, so that I am, being a positive contributor to whatever it is that I'm speaking about. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's definitely my take back.
Yes. Okay. So, as always, until next time.
Until next time.